Hi everyone, lovely to see you all again. So this is our third webinar out of 5. So we're still waiting for some more ideas of where to go next. At the moment, our thoughts are to turn up on a Tuesday and a Thursday and just ask you to ask us some questions. So bring a couple of experts along. So that would be Graham and Claire, not me. So again, Graham's here today. He's going to be presenting on our analytics and reporting webinar. So I'm just going to quickly take you through the agenda, and we're hoping that third time lucky we might be able to keep it to 20 minutes and then 10 minutes for questioning, but let's see what happens. The agenda today is really to take you through the data side of Frog. So what's it like to be able to take those analytics, to identify vulnerable children, to look at the gaps in their learning, to see who and who hasn't been assigning work in school when you have a policy to do so, and so on and so forth. So the key areas really that Graham is going to take you through are our analytics app and our reporting app, and then he's going to take you through where to find tutorials. There are a couple of little bits in there that you might find useful around how to see how many people have been visiting the sites, the visitor log that I know he's going to drop in there during the presentation. So to keep it snappy, I'm going to hand straight over, and please ask questions. Graham has given me permission to interrupt as I see a question that sees fit into the presentation.
Hi everyone, and thank you. And yeah, let's just jump straight in. I'll make that screen big and I'll jump over. So the first thing I'm going to talk to you about is the analytics app. Now, that might not be visible to you if you've got a staff account. Each school can choose who gets access. If you do have access, you can find it in analytics, or if you want to see it and you don't, you can go to your Frog admin in school and say, can you give me permission to view it? And it's very simple to do that. If you don't see it there, it may well be in Frog Drive applications. And I think it's just sort of worth covering this, and it's analytics. Now, when you do open it up, this is the view you get. Now, I'm, GDPR and everything like that, I'm not using a real school. I'm using our demo platform, but this is a dashboard that gives me a bit of an overview. Where we find most people are interested in is, while I do have some assignment reporting in here, it's quite limited. Instead, I'm going to go over to the users section and let's have a look at all logins. And as you expect, it shows me all the logins from the last year, or actually, sorry, from the last 30 days. But I can change this whatever date range I'm interested in. And right now I'm looking at all users, but again, I can filter it down, so I could just look at students. And I get that graph there. I also get the individuals down below, so I can see all the user logins, and I can put some filters on there. So if I'm looking for an individual to find out when the last time that they logged into Frog, that's what I would do there and find it that way. Now, all of this information is exportable as CSVs and goes, and you can pop into a spreadsheet, so you can do further analysis with it. So I could, I mentioned about popping a filter on. So let's have a look for Lions, Abby Lions there. And yeah, she last logged in today. Oh, sorry, 2 days ago, in fact. And she's been a total time in the last 30 days of nearly 3 hours. So I could take that and I could export all of that filtered data to a CSV, and I could manipulate it in a spreadsheet. Or I could just download all of the data and play around with all of it. We do have this tool here, which a lot of people overlook and forget about. It's the export users who've never logged in CSV. So, you're, especially for new schools who are rolling it out, it can be really handy just to get a glimpse of it, who is not engaged in at all. But I can go to login by profile and see more information. I also have under here the My Frog section. Now, when you log in, this is actually, or in fact, as you would expect with it when it says all logins, this is recording when you actually physically log into the platform and records that. But with My Frog, you're always logged in. So it doesn't really work and it doesn't capture that. So instead, we have a separate section called App Usage. And in App Usage, again, we can look at all users and filter that down for just students. We can change the date range. We also have the All Devices option here. So if I want to see how many Apple users are logging in via MyFrog and accessing everything. I've got that. Android. And we've also got browser in there. Now, we wanted to give you a space where you could have an idea of who was accessing Frog, accessing their assignments through this drop-down menu. It so happened that this is what goes into the MyFrog app. So it was really quite easy to take this assignment menu and give you that data in here as an extra filter. So that's what that browser is doing in there. Again, all of this is exportable as CSV data and includes that device type as one of the columns. So I can start running some interesting reports. Now, what we found since last March is that schools were looking at this and going, but I need more information. And so what we did is we've worked and we put together this spreadsheet. And don't worry if you're looking at this, they're all dummy names. There's nothing real there. But what I do in this spreadsheet, and it's available to download and share, and I'll be posting that link in a moment, is we export all of the users from Frog. That comes down as a spreadsheet, and I paste that into this table. I then go and get that MyFrog export CSV, and I drop that into that table, and I do the same for the analytics. So I've got 3 loads of data dumps from Frog, which I can then put into this page here, year group results. And so let's have a look at just year 10 and see. It's all of my students in year 10. So imagine giving this over to the head of year 10 so that they could have a look. And what it shows me is for each child, last time they logged in on MyFrog, the number of times they've logged in on MyFrog, last time they logged in on their desktop, the number of times they've logged in via their desktop. And of course, remember, this is a range of 30 days that I chose. I could have expanded it to a larger one. It gives me their pupil premium status and their year groups and reg classes and so on. So I've immediately got some quite rich information I can share. But then we were working with Harrogate, who were needing to go in a bit more detail. And so we put this section together called Summary. And this, at a glance, shows me how many students are in year 7, how many have logged in on their desktop, and how many have logged in on MyFrog. And then it breaks it down into all the contextual data too. So we've got a whole load of information there available. So I did say I would share this, and I will now use the call to action feature. And I'm going to paste the link in here. I'll send that. Oh, I've got to put some. Isn't it great when I rehearse these things and test them out? So you should now have a link. It just says click here. If you click that, it will open in a new tab to the community pages where we've got a video all about how to do this. We've got a direct link to this spreadsheet. And the other thing that Lucy mentioned is the visitor log. So the visitor log is a Frog Code widget that when you put it on a site, will tell you everybody who's accessed that site. So if I just minimize this here.
Yeah, Graham. So Jess has asked, is there a daily report that can be run to find out who has accessed and completed work? The visitor log, Jess, is going to show you who has actually gone onto the platform. But then Graham will be showing you in a little while who has actually accessed and completed work as well. So it's kind of 2 pieces to the puzzle here.
Yes, what we're doing right now is all the logins and who's actually engaging on the platform. And Lucy's absolutely right. The next thing I'm going to show you is all about assignment reporting. But I just drag in the visitor log. I can pop it anywhere. I'll pop it down here for now. And this widget will record the logged in users' details whenever they load this site. Now that you don't need to hide this button. This button is only, if you can see that edit button up here, you can see that button here. And if you can't see this edit button, you can't see this button. So you don't need to worry about putting it in a rule. Widget is called visitor log. And it's also that link I just shared before. It's also on that tab as well. We'll post that into the comments so you can find it. But when I click on it, it loads in. And obviously I'm the first person to visit it. So there we go. I can copy this data to a download, copy this data a table and paste that into a spreadsheet so I can do something more with it. It's a really powerful way of measuring engagement, especially if you're creating a revision site or a parent portal or something like that. And it's quicker, I would say, than going to analytics, because I just have to press a button right there. I don't have to open another app. Anyway, we are going to keep the time today. I made that promise. So I'm going to jump straight into the reporting tool. Same thing as with the analytics. If you don't have access to it from within the quick launch, then speak to your Frog admin and they can enable that for you. Now, reporting not only is where we put all of our progress reports, but it's also where we have a range of assignment reports. So you might not see all of the ones in here, but you will see staff assignment reports, student assignment reports, and assignment trends. Each one of them does a different thing. This is the student set summary report, and it lists for all the students in the group I've chosen how much work they've been set across each subject. It gives me their totals. And to get this, I'm going to close this down and show you how I got that report. So we'll close this. This will be what it looks like. So student assignment report, I'm going to choose set summary. Now it asks me to search for a year group. So I'm going to put in year 8. Now, again, this is a dummy platform. I don't have an awful lot of data in here. So I'm going to set the date range from the beginning of the school year to now. And then I'm going to look at all subjects. I could have different subjects in there, compare English and maths and so on. And I'm going to change it from, I'll leave it as a percentage, but I could have it as a count. And then I run the report. This goes off into the assignment system and gets all of the work set for each individual student in year 8, all their homeworks that they've had set, and whether or not they've handed them in. Now, I could download this as a PDF. I could send this directly to the printer, but I think possibly the most useful one here is if I click on the action cog, I can copy this to the clipboard, and I'll show you what that looks like in that other spreadsheet. I'll just create a new tab, and I just paste that in. Oh, yes, go on, it'll be fine. There we go. So I've now got all that data ready as a spreadsheet, and again, I can manipulate it and remove the subjects I'm not interested in and do various different filters on it. So that's a really powerful section within reporting that, frankly, we often overlook when we're showing people what you can do. Now, that's reports in there, and as I say, each one you can actually run reports on the staff as well. So the work, that how much work is an individual teacher setting, and what are their hand-in rates like, so which will give you an indication of how well are they managing their class, and you can do that sort of thing in assignment reports.
Graham, can I pause to ask you a couple of questions just before we move on? So we have one question that is about the visitor log, or about basically site analytics. So are we able to see who has logged on that day, or is it just the previous day? So have we got real-time analytics?
So I would say visitor log it gives you back, as soon as you've loaded the visitor log, as soon as the visitor loaded it, it's recorded their visit. So visitor log will give you the closest to real time. Analytics for the longest time gives you the day up to yesterday. So it gives you all the information. It doesn't give you today. I do believe there's a development project to change that, but I don't know how far along that's gone.
Today, if you want to see your visitor log, you get the Frog Code visitor log widget enabled if you want to see real time or the latest cut of data.
Yes.
Okay. And the second question is, what if in student assignment reports, you want to see more than one year group in the same report?
Oh, I don't know if you can do that. Let me see. Oh, one thing I can show you about this actually is when you've got all of your parameters set, you can save this report. So this is year 8 set summary. And then you can go into saved reports. Here it is here, my saved reports. And I can expand the parameters at the top, and I can change this for another year group. Now, that's not answering your question.
No, it's one at a time, isn't it?
Yeah, but unfortunately, I do think you can only do it one at a time. And then you can run a report.
One other one with the visitor log widget. Does it work in the MyFrog app?
Yes, it does. So it doesn't show you who's logged in on MyFrog, but if they visit their dashboard, or to be honest, even if they visit their assignment, it'll have loaded in from their dashboard behind them. It will record that they've made that visit.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Graham. I'll let you carry on.
Okay, so what we've then done is we've gone a little bit further and we've put together this site called assignment reporting. And in here, we've got assignment monitor, which I haven't touched on. To be honest, I've gone through reporting really quickly, so I can if you want me to, but I haven't touched on assignment reporting, assignment monitor. But we've got a video guide built in here. We've got a reporting tool and a video guide going into a bit more detail of what I've just shown you. Then we've been working with schools and we've created a couple of extra frog widgets. So if I now click on the unopened assignments page, this will give me a report. I can run this report on any group of students in the school, and it will tell me how many assignments that they've had set for the period, and it will then list all of the assignments they've not opened. So it's really simple. I just search for a group. I'm going to search for year 8 again, or list year 8 again. And again, I've set my dates already. So 1st of September to today. I could filter it by a subject, and I could, because of the way the search query is, I could look for issued or due date. I'm going to leave it on due. And I hit list unopened assignments. It will now list all of the students in year 8. It then gives me a little bit of their names and their username. Amara has had 8 homeworks assigned since the start of September. She's not opened 6 of them, and I can see which ones. And actually, she's obviously got a bit of a problem with me. I'm the one who set all this homework, and she's not opened any of the homeworks I've set. Good to know. So she's got an opened assignment rate of 75%. Akbar hasn't opened any of the work I've set. So it does give me that engagement element. It does let me see what's going on. I can again copy this to this table to a clipboard, put it into a spreadsheet, and run analysis on it. What about at the next step? And if I go over, what happens if they are opening their assignments, they're not actually engaging in the work that's there? We've got the assignment activity Handins report. Now, this will run on open assignments and closed assignments, although you'd have to set it up separately. But I can just search for a user, and I'll just search for, we'll search for Amara, actually, seeing as we were just looking at her. And there we can see Amara, that's all the homework she's been set. I've got the assignment names. I've got when it was due. I've got when it was handed in. And in this case here, there was one activity and she handed it in without actually doing the work. Yet for some reason, I've given her a silver mark. But obviously, this is all mock-up data. It does give me that instant clarification, that instant way of checking. And, you know, for a tutor to be able to run this on an individual member of their tutor group, one of their tutees, it's a really powerful and handy tool. That's available. If you drop us a line, we can get that installed for you if you don't have that already on your platform. So, Lucy, I actually think I'm ahead of time for once.
Oh, I'm just going to do my video.
Yeah, we've covered analytics, we've covered assignment reporting in very, very quick detail, but we did want to leave some time for questions.
We did. We covered the spreadsheet briefly there as well, didn't we?
Yes. So
let's have a look. Steph had asked a question previously, which I think you covered on the spreadsheet, which was one for Graham to show when he's done. Is there any way to filter on the app by year group? So this is when you were looking at the very first piece of the presentation around the assignments.
Right. So no, we don't have the year group built in, which is why we've made this spreadsheet instead.
Yes.
So that gives me that information. And you know, if I'm interested in how many year 10 students are accessing, I've got that collective number there, that total number there. I think this is possibly more powerful for me because I can go in and I can check. And this is a great example. Paolo here has not logged in via MyFrog at all, but he has been using the desktop. So, although he's only used it once, but at least I know that he's still accessing his work through there.
Okay, brilliant. Is there, so from the group, I'm just having a look to see if there's any messages. There's one here. Are there any plans to put students in surname order and separate columns, as in most schools, everything is in surname order, so it makes it tricky to use?
Now, I know about this one. This is this column here from the assignment reports is only a single column with the student's total name in there. I believe it's loaded as it's requested as an idea on the ideas portal. I haven't had a chance to catch up with the product team about it to find out the likelihood of getting that change, but I know that that's something that would make sense.
Okay, well, it looks like we've certainly gone ahead of time. Graham and I are still here if you've got any further questions. Now it looks like there might be one in the questions tab. Oh no, that's fine. It's all right. It's the same one that was actually in the chat. Somebody used the buttons the right way. Graham and I just used the chat. Okay. Looks like you've got another one coming on.
Just while we're waiting.
I think the other thing is we will be sending this out as a video as well. We will be sending out the video after the event. It takes a day or so just to render it all, but then you will be able to get a copy and re-watch this. And as always, I know Graham's about to say, there's always the community.
So you go to frogeducation.com/community. There's a training button there. I'll just go back so we can see that. Learn training guides, and I click into there. We've got a whole section on homework and running the reports. And if I scroll down here, at the bottom of here, we've got a video about Assignment Monitor. We've got the guide to the reporting application. There's also the Marketing Manager video guides and things like that. They're all there for you at any time. And, as Lucy was saying, you can find it from that link.
Right. In that case, so we will hang around. And then if we haven't got any questions popping up in the next couple of minutes, we would like to say thank you for coming along. Thank you for taking time out of your day. I know how incredibly trying times are at the moment, so thank you for holding back and for joining us. And again, if you have any further ideas for future webinars that you would like us to put on, we are more than willing to. All right, guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.